The next person I want to bring up is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Gary Henderson. Give it up for him.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to take a break. A lot of you probably seen my face before. I'm just going to give you just a small tidbit. And I promise you, if you just give me 5 minutes, I promise you it will change your life. I've had the opportunity to sing with a lot of major artists, from Timothy Wright, John B. Key, very numerous gospel artists. I used to be an armor bearer for Reverend Timothy Wright back in the days. Just 1 month ago, I had an opportunity really to experience what my life has all been about. And I want everyone to never take it for granted concerning your life and the life in which you live and who you live it for. I told you, I've traveled extensively around the world. Well, last month, September the 11th, I was working with Mr. Goldwire. A lot of you are familiar with him. Just won with Sunday's Best. He was the second runner-up to Leandra. And the connections in which my brother, who just came out with his album, God Can, GLMI Choir, and I worked on different projects with Dario Hedgecombe, which is a big-time producer. He's played for everybody, Israel, with New Breed, and from Donnie McClurkin on. But as I was working with Elder Goldwire, I was visiting my family in Jacksonville, and with this concept of me visiting, not knowing that God was going to change my life during this time. As I stated, I've been working in the music industry as a songwriter. My group label is called Voice of Success, and I have my record label is GB2G, which means Get Back to God. And it's trying to instruct and to inform people the real reason in reference to the gifts in which God has given you. Never for your own self, but to understand this gift is given to you that you may give to others. Freely as God has given to you, freely you should give to others. So as I was working with Elder Goldwire, that Friday, Leandra was coming to my brother's church, and she was there for a concert. And as I was there, the service just took a whole turn. Even as she came to minister, God met us in the place. But one of the most awesome things, 3 days later, I would never know that my life would begin to take a change. On the 14th of September, I walked into the emergency room, which at that time I had promised my mom I would get a checkup before I left. It was 18 people at 7 o'clock. I'm out of Jacksonville, Florida. Anybody know Jacksonville? It's a big city. And you don't walk in, you could actually, you do not walk in an emergency room in Jacksonville and just get out of there. So when I left, I told my mother, I said, look, I tell you what, we got revival tomorrow night. And I made a promise to you, because I've been traveling on the road, you know, back and forth, and I haven't taken care of. I'm finna flip back 2 years. 2 years ago, she had asked my mother had asked me and my uncle to go get a checkup. Within those 2 years, because I was traveling, I was like, well, Mom, I'll do it one day. My uncle went, he found out he had cancer. He died 3 months later, okay? So I want that to stick in your head. I want this to soak into you, because I don't ever want you to take it for granted, not only your life, but in reference to the purpose that you have. If you're not real about God, I promise you, by the time I finish this testimony, it's going to shake your faith. So the second day, and I walked in to the emergency room, I told her, I said, look, these 18 people, I'll probably be here till 2 o'clock in the morning. I can endure. So the next night we went into revival, stayed there Thursday night. getting ready to go back in revival. I have a concert due for Saturday, Friday night, and Sunday. So, you know, I'm looking to just smooth it on in. Thursday morning, my mom came in the room early. Look, son, you promised me that you would go. Let's go now. At this point of my life, I could tell you that it was God and angels that escorted me. I walked into a Jacksonville emergency room hospital. Nobody was in the emergency room. You don't do that. The second thing, when I signed my name, I was the only person with my name there. I sat in there, the waiting room, for 3 minutes. They called me back to take vital signs. As I sat in there, one other lady walked in, and I'm sitting there just in amazement because I'm home, I'm in Jacksonville, and nobody's in here. So it began to just ponder in my head what's going on. As I get prepared, the man calls my name. Mr. Henderson, can we get you to come to the back? So I'm really baffled now. You know, I'm like, God, I'm seeing this earlier. They must don't have nobody in there. Go through the double doors. As I proceed through the double doors, guess what? It's a whole bunch of people there, but one room left open. I walk into the room. They get me prepared. They have a doctor to come in. When the doctor comes in, he takes evaluation. I've been hiding the pain from my family for 4 years. He took the pinky of his finger and he touched my stomach, and it like gripped me as if I would have fell to my knees. I weighed 289. Well, at that time I was weighing about 289 solid. And it was just amazing. So he said, well, look, we're gonna have to give you a scan. They put me in this incubator, which it took an hour because I had to take the solution that when they put me through the scan, that they could see what I was having. Came back out, it wasn't even 15 minutes. Mr. Henderson, I'm going to have to refer you to a surgeon. So I told him, I said, look, sir, I just came here for a checkup. That's all I want to do. I want to be obedient because I told my mom, look, hey, I'll do this for you. I'm used to traveling. I've trusted God all of these years. Plus, I've hid this. No one knows about it, that I have been carrying this pain up and down the highways, on the flights, going over to Bahamas, ministering overseas and stuff like that. But it was just a moment in time that God showed me just who he was. When the surgeon came in and he started talking to me, he said, Mr. Henderson, we need to do this and we need to do that. I sat up in my chair and I'm looking at him like, sir, you don't understand. I just came here for a checkup. So he looked at me, and I was not realizing just how important this was, not knowing this was the best surgeon in the world. That's how God set me up. The best surgeon in the world. He's telling me that I need a surgery, but I'm telling him, look, I can come back. Let's make an agreement. If you let me come back, I'll tell you what, I'll come back Friday. Because I'm thinking, look, I got service all week. God, you took me this far. I can make it. And he looked at me again. He's like, well, I can't force you to have this surgery, but I think it's really needed. I said, well, I tell you what, Monday morning, I promise you, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of God. I said, one thing I will do, I will honor my word. I'll be in your office Monday morning. He walked out of the room with his hands up. He went to tell the first doctor that I refused the surgery. So I'm sitting there and I'm contemplating in my mind. So I called my big sister and I told her, I said, look, these people want to do surgery on me. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go in prayer because I'm finna call mom to let her know I'm getting ready to leave the hospital. But I need you to pray that God calms her spirit. So while I'm trying to call my mother on the line, the first doctor walks back in. This is what he tells me, Mr. Henderson, we're taking you to surgery. One of the things that I want to thank God for, because he didn't leave it up to me. He knew the danger that I was in, so he had the doctor to speak for me. My mother heard the echo of this man saying, we're taking you to surgery. This is another amazing part. The next time I'm going, taken up to the second level, I wasn't in the room 2 minutes. The doctor of anesthesiologist walked in the room. We come to get Mr. Henderson. I really sat up in my chair because I'm wondering what's really going on. He's already coming to get me, and I just been in this room 2 minutes. They haven't asked me anything. Anyone who's been in ER or in the emergency room, first thing they ask you, do you have medical care? They ask you in reference to smoking, insurance, there you go, how you gonna pay for this? None of that was asked to me. Only thing they did was they realized they had to do surgery. And while they was realizing that, they had to ask me the different things. Do you smoke? Do you drink? And I'm still trying to calm myself down. The lady said, well, sir, what is your weight? So me, to calm my spirit down, I said, ma'am, I think that's kind of personal. I just met you. So they started laughing. While I got them to laughing, I was trying to calm myself down. Because while I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, this is something so amazing. The next thing that blew my mind was they took me into surgery, came out of surgery. I found out for 4 years I had a hernia that turned into a growth. This growth had attached itself to my major arteries. Everything in my stomach, this growth that attached itself, no blood, was to my major arteries. At any time, I could have died just for it bursting. I do contracts along with, me being a singer. I do contracts on the side, military moves, college moves. I'm talking about I've taken 200, 300 chesters, and you're from the military, and those big lockers, put them on my shoulder, walk them up 3 stairs, flight of stairs, somebody pushing it. At any time, I could have died. One of the most amazing things was God kept me. But one of the things that I know was I had to be serious concerning my walk with God. So today, I challenge you to make sure in reference to whatever you give and however you give, it's something that you realize that your walk with God is essential. The most beautiful thing about it was, I'm going to show you how God's hand was in it. My pastor wasn't supposed to be in town. They were in town that day. When my mother called for them to pray for me, they were supposed to be 2 hours away. They were right in the city. The third miracle was when I walked out while I was on the surgery recovery, my bill was paid in full. Now that's a crazy praise.